Okay, so Smoke Guide Part 2. This is for people that are at higher levels and they're struggling with Smoke because I did a terrible job of explaining when you should be using his mix-up tools and all that, when you should be Vicious Vapors canceling and all that. So, the big thing that Smoke has to get around is fuzzy guards, which is when your opponent is doing this. They're unsure about the overhead low, so they fuzzy guard before committing to a stand or crouch block once they see what you've pressed. And, you know, this works against his strings, this works against his specials. And the other thing you need to be aware of is people just jabbing you out of all of your mix-up tools, which that means smoke port canceling and smoke bomb, because people can reliably do that. So when you go into a match, you should assume that your opponent knows how to play against smoke. You shouldn't just immediately go 2-1 smoke port cancel, because that's how you eat a full combo and lose like half your health. So really, in reality, you're not going to be mixing that much, at least at the beginning. You should definitely be doing cancels, but you shouldn't just only do cancels. You need to throw those in like maybe once every match. And then once you've gotten into your opponent's head, like they're really low health and they're panicking, then you start partying a bit with these. That's when you start party time. But majority of your match, you're not going to be doing those. You're not going to be doing 2-1 into that, because people are just going to down 2 or jab you right out of it. So, in case you haven't seen, this is what it looks like to get jabbed out of a smoke port cancel. It's just like that. And they can jab you out of full smoke port, where you don't cancel it. Hang on. Like that. So, yeah, there's a lot people can do against smoke, which is why you barely ever actually use your cancels. Same with Vicious Vapors cancels. This, a decent player, a halfway decent player, will be able to recognize that you're going for the cancel, because it makes the meter burn sound and smoke glows white. Once they see that you've glowed white, they're just gonna jab immediately. And when you're invisible, if you're gonna do this, again, they jab you. You are minus 26 on that, which means it's not your turn. So how do you use invisibility? How do you get around their options? So, as I stated at the beginning, the no mix-up, just do your safe strings. You need to play, you're not playing Smoke anymore, you're playing Mortal Kombat now. You are actually gonna have to do like forward 3, 2, 4, because it's a safe string. Obviously the startup on that last hit is 30 frames, they jab you out of it, or you know, they armor through it, but you're just gonna have to do that. You're just gonna be doing 2-1-2. You're just gonna be doing forward 1-2, and you need to stagger your strings, which is a big part of playing Mortal Kombat. So you do forward 1-2 and you're playing strike throw. Forward 1-2, real throw. Forward 1-2, down jab. Or you know, crouch jab. All of that, because you're only -2 on that second hit, which means you can challenge whatever they do. And of course, spacing is a huge part of the game as well. So at higher levels, you just don't cancel as much, because that's gonna get you killed. But canceling is a big part of his kit. So how do you do it in a way where you doesn't get you killed? Well, it depends on your cameo. Cameo like Goro, he can be called out at any time, and he can make you safe on block. So you need to only cancel in situations where it's completely safe for you to cancel, or mix in situations where it's completely safe for you to mix. For example, I do back 2-3, which is very negative on block, as you can see right there. You eat a full combo. If I do back 2-3, oops, wrong Goro cancel, I am safe on block. I am completely safe. They have to keep blocking, and because, well, maybe that was a bad example, but if I do, you know what, forward 3-2 is a much better one. Forward 3-2, low overhead, they have to stand block it. If I do forward 3-2 and I cancel into Goro, his hit is a high, they're already stand blocking, which means they have to eat Goro's hit unless they guess properly and, you know, they duck it. But even then, you're completely safe. And of course, you can do it like that, even though I messed it up. Let me do that again. You can do it like that, and that keeps you safe on block. It says that my advantage is minus 23, but your opponent is still blocking because of Goro. Cyrax works. Kano is a character that works pretty well as well, and I will show you him later. But that is the main gist of playing Smoke at a higher level. You can't just be doing cancels or, you know, trying to mix like that, because people at that level who are halfway decent and know their character and yours are going to fuzzy guard, and they're just going to jab you right out of everything you do, because they know that's the one and only option to get out of this pressure. And then when they're kind of panicking and you've gotten into their heads, that's when you start party time with all these cancels, and you create situations where it is completely safe for you. Like that. So that's what you have to do as Smoke at higher levels. People are going to be wise to all of the mixes and cancels. They're going to jab you out of every single one, which is why you have to do them sparingly. They will react to your Vicious Vapors, they will react to your Smoke Port, and they sure as hell will react to Smoke Bomb, because it is very slow. So now I'm going to show you some setups to ensure that you can go invisible, ensure that you can start canceling and such. So the first setup is this forward 1-2 1+3 string. Special cancelable into that. Your hit advantage is 11 frames. You go invisible. But yeah, instead of doing down back 1 from that, you can just cancel into invisibility instead, because it is guaranteed you get to go invisible, and now they have to guess, is he gonna back 2? Is he gonna forward 3? What's he gonna do? So that is one way to ensure you get invisibility. Now, the big thing with invisibility, people are gonna start trying to jab check you so you're not invisible anymore, which means you have to start pressuring immediately. As soon as they wake up, as soon as they get up off the ground, you should be already pressing a button, so they have to block. And if they don't block, they get hit, you get a nice little combo out of it. So that is the main gist of when you should start doing this. Now I'm going to show you some other setups you can do on block to ensure that you get your cancels. So, Goro, as I was saying, he makes you safe on block. Like that. So, I'm safe on block. Goro is pressuring them, and I can cancel into invisibility. I can immediately go low or overhead. Again, as I've been saying this whole video, don't constantly do that. You don't constantly cancel unless you make it safe for yourself to. So that way, they're still guessing, but you're in a situation where even if they guess right, you don't get hit. And that's really the only times you should cancel. Alright, now I'm going to show you a setup with a character like Kano. Of course, there are other cameos in this game where you can hold them and delay them for a really long time. But Kano is a very good cameo all around, because his knives are good. They make you safe on block and they combo extend. His eye laser is a real punish, and you know, that's great to have. And his Kano ball, you can hold it and it becomes a homing move. So setting up a character like Kano is really difficult, because you have to get a hard knockdown. So you do something like that and you can set up Kano where you can immediately start pressuring. If I were to have Kano set up from a knockdown like his 1-1-1-4 string, if I knocked my opponent down, I'd have a lot of hit advantage, and from there I could set up Kano. And if I have Kano out on the field, I can do stuff like this. I can safely mix, because I can still force my opponent to block. And if I were to actually go through with the smoke port cancel, or with the smoke port, I can do something like that, where, again, they still have to block. So that's really the big thing, as I've been saying. You need to make yourself safe while you mix, and you have to barely mix. The only times you mix are when it's safe for you and that your opponent literally can't press any buttons because they'll get hit. So that is really it for this video. Again, forward 1-2, you stagger people with a lot. You're +2 on that second hit, so you're ready to go in for a throw, and you're playing strike throw game. And your main tools to open people up are just gonna be his low overhead string and his overhead strings. These are gonna be your main tools to open people up. Opening people up shouldn't be constantly canceling. So that is it for this video. I hope this clears up how and when you should be smoke canceling, and that in higher levels, yeah, smoke is a harder character to play, but that's every character. People know what to do against you and they know how to get around you. So, which is why you create scenarios where it's absolutely safe for you to do that, because then you won't get blown up and you can continue pressure. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Next video is going to be another guide. It's going to be Havoc. So look forward to that.